गवळी सर,
बोला ना सर.
तर मेसेज काय येतो बघा, प्रिन्सिपल बलवंत कॉलेज विटा नेटवर्क बँडविड्थ इज लो असं म्हणते बघा. तुम्हाला दिसतंय का ते मेसेज?
माहिती सर इथे.
नाही सर, नाही नाही.
मला दिसतंय की प्रिन्सिपल बलवंत कॉलेज विटाज नेटवर्क बँडविड्थ इज लो म्हणते बघा.
व्यवस्थित आहे सर, नेटवर्क व्यवस्थित आहे. तुम्हाला आवाज व्यवस्थित येतो ना सर?
येतो जरा इको झाल्यासारखं येतो. येतो ज्या कॉम्प्युटरवरून तुम्ही बोलताय का नाही, बाकीचे मोबाईल वगैरे जास्त जवळ कोणी ठेवू नका.
नाही ते बंदच आहे सर ते.
हा, तर मी इको होतो. आणि मगाशी सांगितलं ती युट्यूबची लिंक आहे म्हणजे एकदा ओपन झालं लाईव्ह तुम्ही स्ट्रीम केला की ते स्क्रीन जी आहे त्याची युट्यूबची ती बंद करून क्लोज करून टाकायची.
Good afternoon.
हॅलो गवळी सर,
हा बोला सर.
बहुतेक युट्यूबचं चालू आहे वाटतं बघा, त्यामुळे युट्यूबची स्क्रीन क्लोज केली का बघा.
माईक ऑफ करा. मला काय वाटलं माझ्यामुळे झालं ते.
नाही, जे होस्ट कॉम्प्युटर आहे ना त्याच्याजवळ बाकीचे का जवळ बसू नका.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome to all of you participants. I am Ajay Jadhav, Assistant Professor, Department of Statistics, Balwant College, Vita. I heartily welcome to all participants, resource person, and chief guests on one-day webinar on statistical data analysis using SPSS software organized by Department of Statistics, Balwant College, Vita, in collaboration with Department of Statistics, Adarsh College, Vita. I would like to request Dr. Gauri sir, Head Department of Statistics, Balwant College, Vita, to welcome and introduce today's program. Over to Gauri sir.
छान लिहितात. मी सांगितलं काय सांगू नाही तर म्हणणार. सेकंडरी राहुल पाटील, नंतर मग काय ऍडमिशन रेग्युलर
बघितलं शिवाजी विद्यापीठाचा पाठीमागे
आवाज येत नाही सर गवळी सर.
हॅलो, आवाज येतोय सर माझा?
हा, आता आला की.
Okay, sir. Sorry for disturbance. Good afternoon. Welcome to all of you for this one-day webinar on statistical data analysis using SPSS software organized by Department of Statistics, Balwant College, Vita, in collaboration with Department of Statistics, Adarsh College, Vita. I am Prasad Gavi, Assistant Professor and Head Department of Statistics, Balwant College, Vita. It gives me great pleasure to introduce today's program. I welcome President of the program, Dr. R.S. More sir, Principal of Balwant College, Vita, Chief Guest, Dr. B.G. Kore sir, Principal of Adarsh College Vita, Resource Person Mr. Sagar Khandage sir, Assistant Professor, Department of Statistics, Modern College Pune, and all the participants. In college, Department of Statistics has been established in 1976. The progress of the department from beginning always has been remarkable. The department is always striving for the holistic development of the students. Department organizes seminar, workshop, and different kinds of competitions everywhere. The alumni of the department are working on higher position in government, industrial, educational, IT, and other field. Considering the demand of parents and students, BSc 3 statistics course has been started from the year 2016. Department has signed MoU with Statistics Department of Adarsh College Vita. The purpose of MoU is bring together the department of both the colleges and organizes various programs and exchange knowledge. Today's program is being held under this MoU. The collected information is known as data, and it is challenging task to properly analyze the data. Statistics has become important to analyze the data and draw valid inferences. Many softwares are available to analyze the data. One of the software known SPSS, statistical packages for social sciences, is used for data analysis. Sagar sir will discuss more about SPSS software. With this brief introduction, I conclude my words. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your nice introductory speech. I would like to request Mr. Gamekar sir to introduce chief guest and resource person of today's program. Over to your Gamekar sir.
Good afternoon. Welcome to all of you for one-day webinar on statistical data analysis using SPSS software organized by Department of Statistics, Balwant College Vita and others College Vita. For this webinar, today we have chief guest Principal Dr. B.G. Kore, Principal Others College Vita. He has 31 years teaching experience. He has published many research papers. He has published 21 books. He is a member of various educational organizations. He has organized several seminars, workshops, conferences. He is recognized research guide of Shivaji University, Kolhapur for MPhil and PhD in statistics. We have resource person for today's webinar, Mr. Sagar Khandage, Assistant Professor, Modern College, Pune. He has completed his post-graduation in statistics from Savitribai Phule Pune University, Pune. He qualified SET exam in 2016. He delivered many lectures in different colleges across Maharashtra. He is founder and director of Marco Research and Analytic Service, Pune. With this brief introduction, I conclude my words. Over to Mr. Ajay Jadhav.
Thank you, sir. Now I would like to request B.G. Kore sir, Principal, Adarsh College Vita, to deliver keynote address of the program. Over to Kore sir.
Good afternoon to everybody. It is great pleasure to me to present here as a chief guest for the webinar on statistical data analysis using SPSS software. Just as rightly noted by Gauri sir, Head Department of Statistics, Balwant College Vita, this program is going to conduct under the MoU, Memorandum of Understanding, between Department of Statistics, Balwant College Vita, and Department of Statistics, Others College Vita. I am very much happy to be say here, as before 2 years, last 20 years I worked as a teacher and head of the department in the Balwant College Vita of Department of Statistics. From last year, 2 years, in this others college, I am working as a principal and as well as head department of statistics in the others college. I am very much happy to announce here that both the departments in growing positions, whatever the present position of Department of Statistics in Balwant College and in others college, there is much more work behind it from me. I don't want to say that only I can responsible for these things. Honorable principals of that college, Balwant College, that may be Principal S.T. Salanke sir or present Principal Dr. Arti Mohite sir. Both the principals are my close friends. They have also much more helped to develop these departments. And as Gaudi sir just told, both the departments are in the same city, but the environment in both the departments, in Balwant College and in others college, always cooperative, healthy conversation between both the departments. Many times the departmental colleagues from Balwant College are helped to others college statistic department, and others college statistic departments also colleagues are helped to Department of Statistics Balwant College. And this is a good thing, and this is a sign of a good educated peoples. Okay, now I come to the point. And first of all, thank to Principal Dr. R.S. Mohite sir and Head Department of Statistics, Mr. P.A. Gaudi sir and his colleagues, to invite me as a chief guest for this inaugural function of webinar on statistical data analysis using SPSS. Okay. Dear colleagues, you might know SPSS is a software which is used for statistical data analysis in the various organizations. Previously, this software first time released in 1968, that means 53 years ago. At that time, the SPSS stands for Statistical Package for the Social Sciences. Then later changed to Statistical Product and Service Solutions. That is presently SPSS stands for Statistical Product and Service Solutions. After being developed by Norman H. Nee and Bent and Adley Hull, SPSS is widely used program for statistical analysis in social science. It is also used by market researchers, health researchers, survey companies, government educations, researchers, market organizations, data miners, and others. Those principles incorporated as SPSS INC in 1975. Early version of SPSS statistics were written in Fortran language. which I have studied this language in 1989 as a part of diploma course in Shivaji University, and designed for batch processing on many frames, including the example International Business Machines Corporation, that is IBM, leading American computer manufacturer, and International Computer Limited, that is ICL, versions originally using punched cards for data and program input. Prior to SPSS 16.0 version, different versions of SPSS were available for Windows, Mac operation system, Unix. From version 16.0, the same version runs under Windows, Mac and Linux. SPSS announced on July 28, 2009 that it was being acquired by IBM. As of January 2010, it became SPSS an IBM company. Complete transfer of business to IBM was done by October 1, 2010. By that date, SPSS, an IBM company, ceased to exist. IBM's SPSS is now fully integrated into the IBM Corporation and is one of the brands under IBM Software Group's business analytics portfolio. Companion software in the IBM SPSS family are used for data mining and text analysis. SPSS data collection and SPSS dimensions were solid in 2015 to Unicom system integrated. Several versions of SPSS statistics exist. SPSS statistics grad packs are highly discounted versions sold only to students. SPSS statistics server is a version of SPSS statistics with a client server architecture. Add-on packages can enhance the basic software with additional features. For example, include complex samples which can adjust for cluster and stratified samples, and custom tables which can create publication ready tables. SPSS statistics is available under either an annual or monthly subscription license. SPSS statistics launched a version 25 on August 8, 2017. SPSS version 25 adds new and advanced statistics such as random effect solution results, robust standard errors, and profile plots with error bars within the advanced statistics and custom tables add-on. Version 25 also includes new Bayesian statistics capabilities, a method of statistical inference, and publication ready charts, such as powerful new charting capabilities, including new default templates and the ability to share with Microsoft Office applications. IBM SPSS is the world leading statistical software using to solve business and research problems by means of ad hoc analysis, hypothesis testing, and predictive analysis. Organizations use IBM SPSS to understand, data analyze, trends, forecast, and plan to validate assumptions and drive accurate conclusions. SPSS statistics quickly understanding large and complex data sets using advanced statistical procedures, ensuring high accuracy to drive quality decision making, reveal deeper insights, and provide later confidence intervals with visualizations and geographic spectral analysis, process and deploy analysis faster with flexible development options, build a predictive enterprise, making the business more agile and maximize return on investment. New version Spatial Statistics is 27.0, which is released on June 19, 2020. That means just 7 months ago. Executive new quantile regression analysis compared to rock curves utilize multiple rater kappa for improved survey analysis, run enhanced Bayesian procedures for one-way repeated measure ANOVA, one sample binomial and one sample Python, run mixed and matrix scripting enhancements. SPS MOS 27 version is more easily performs structural equation modeling, move beyond regression to gain additional insight, more quickly create models to test hypotheses and confirm relationships among observed and latent variables. Spaces Modular 18.2. This is a comprehensive predictive analytics platform designed to bring predictive intelligence to decisions made by individuals, groups, systems, and the enterprise. It offers a range of advanced algorithms and techniques, including text analytics, entity analytics, decision management, and optimization. I this much thing want to say about SPSS. Much more detail is maybe delivered by resource person, Mr. Sagar Kandagade, Assistant Professor of Department of Statistics, Modern College, Pune. My friends and colleagues, those who want to purchase SPSS software for the academic purpose or business purpose, I want to quote here the address. One of the address for communication within the SPSS South Asia, Bangalore. If you want mobile number for that person is 9612241470, or you want to email ID bidyut@spss.co.in. Okay. Okay. Once again, I want to thanks the organizer, Dr. R.S. Moresa, Principal, Balwant College Vita and Head Department of Statistics, Balwant College Vita, for giving me this opportunity. And one thing I want to share to colleagues or students, many more students, participants are also joined. I have to build up the career in statistics. Only statistical knowledge is not sufficient. To build a bright career in statistics, you must have, along with statistical knowledge, computational knowledge, and for that you must acquire the knowledge of some softwares, say R, Excel, SPSS, Minitab, MATLAB, SAS, etc. If you have sufficient statistical knowledge, theoretical as well as practical, along with computational softwares, just I quoted Minitab, MATLAB, SAS, R, SPSS. There is a bright future for students to build the career in the statistic region. I want to thank once again the organizer, and now I want to full stop here and I hand over the mic to the organizer. Thank you once again.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable words. I would like to invite Dr. R.S. More, sir, Principal, Balwant College Vita, to give their presidential address. Over to Principal मोरे सर.
नमस्कार. रयत शिक्षण संस्थेचे बळवंत कॉलेज विटा आणि आदर्श महाविद्यालय विटा या महाविद्यालयातील स्टॅट विभागाच्या वतीने, दोन्ही महाविद्यालयातील स्टॅट विभागाच्या वतीने आयोजित केलेल्या या वेबिनारसाठी आपल्यामध्ये मार्गदर्शन करण्यासाठी उपस्थित असलेले आणि आता ज्यांनी मार्गदर्शन केलं ते आमचे मित्र प्राचार्य डॉक्टर BG कोरे सर. या कार्यक्रमाच्या निमित्तानं आपल्यामध्ये उपस्थित असलेले आणि आपल्याला मार्गदर्शन करणारे प्राध्यापक सागर खंडागळे सर. या कार्यक्रमाचं संयोजन करणारे आमच्या स्टॅट विभागाचे विभाग प्रमुख प्रसाद गवळी सर, गेमवेकर सर, पवार सर, बुगळे सर आणि उपस्थित सर्व प्राध्यापक शिक्षक बंधू भगिनींनो. आजचा या MoUच्या माध्यमातून घेत असलेल्या या ऍक्टिव्हिटीच्या अनुषंगानं, या वेबिनारच्या अनुषंगानं खूप चांगली माहिती आपल्यापर्यंत या निमित्तानं पोहोचणार आहे. विशेषतः जे विद्यार्थी आहेत, प्राध्यापक आहेत, अभ्यासक आहेत, त्यांना या स्टॅटिस्टिकल डाटा अनालिसिस या अनुषंगानं काय माहिती सागर खंडागळे सर या ठिकाणी आपल्याला शेअर करणार आहेत, माहिती सांगणार आहेत. या सॉफ्टवेअरच्या अनुषंगानं आपल्याशी चर्चा करणार आहेत. आमचे मित्र BG कोरे सर हे 2 वर्षापूर्वी आदर्श कॉलेज विटा या ठिकाणी प्राचार्य म्हणून गेलेले आहेत. या ठिकाणी अनेक वर्ष ते बळवंत महाविद्यालयामध्ये प्राध्यापक म्हणून स्टॅट विभागामध्ये विभाग प्रमुख म्हणून काम करत होते. खूप चांगलं काम सरांनी या महाविद्यालयामध्ये केलं. विशेषतः मला आणखी त्यांच्याबद्दल सांगायला आवडेल की अनेक चांगले विद्यार्थी या विभागातून त्यांच्या मार्गदर्शनाखाली बाहेर पडले. खूप चांगल्या पोझिशनला अनेक विद्यार्थी या विभागाचे सध्या कार्यरत आहेत. महाराष्ट्रभर तुम्ही गेला तर बळवंत कॉलेजचा विद्यार्थी, स्टॅट डिपार्टमेंटचा विद्यार्थी त्या ठिकाणी आपली अभिमानानं ओळख सांगत असतो की असे विद्यार्थी या बळवंत मधून घडवण्यामध्ये प्राचार्य डॉक्टर BG कोरे सरांचं योगदान फार महत्वाचं आहे. आज या दोन्ही महाविद्यालयाच्या वतीनं आयोजित केलेल्या या वेबिनारसाठी चांगली माहिती किंवा उपयुक्त अशी प्रकारची माहिती विद्यार्थ्यांसाठी, शिक्षकांसाठी निश्चित ठरणार आहे. इथून पुढे देखील MoUच्या माध्यमातून वेगवेगळ्या चांगल्या ऍक्टिव्हिटी या दोन्ही महाविद्यालयाच्या माध्यमातून आम्ही या ठिकाणी घेणार आहोत. आजपर्यंत अनेक ऍक्टिव्हिटी या आदर्श महाविद्यालय विटा आणि बळवंत कॉलेज विटा यांच्या माध्यमातून झालेले आहेत. आपला हेतू आहे की विद्यार्थ्यांना चांगलं काहीतरी मिळावं. या कोलॅबोरेशनच्या माध्यमातून, MoUच्या माध्यमातून किंवा या वेगवेगळ्या कोलॅबोरेटिव्ह ऍक्टिव्हिटीच्या माध्यमातून विद्यार्थ्यांना चांगल्या प्रकारचे स्पीकर्स मिळावेत, चांगल्या प्रकारचे अकॅडमिशियन्स मिळावेत आणि विद्यार्थ्यांना त्यांच्या ज्ञानात भर कशी पडेल या दृष्टिकोनातून या वेगवेगळ्या ऍक्टिव्हिटींचा किंवा MoUचा आपल्याला उपयोग करून घेता येईल का, त्या दृष्टिकोनातून आदर्श कॉलेज विटा आणि बळवंत महाविद्यालय विटा हे सतत प्रयत्न करत असताना आपल्याला पाहायला मिळतं. या कार्यक्रमाच्या निमित्तानं आपण सर्वजण यामध्ये सहभागी झालात. त्याचबरोबर मलाही या ठिकाणी आपण बोलण्याची संधी दिली त्याबद्दल आपल्या प्रती, आपणा सर्वांच्या प्रती मी आदराची आणि कृतज्ञतेची भावना व्यक्त करून थांबतो. जय हिंद, जय करमीर.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir, for your valuable guidance and continuous support in the various program. Thank you once again. I now would like to request today's resource person of the program, Mr. Sagar Khandagle sir, Assistant Professor, Modern College, Pune. Over to Sagar sir.
Thank you so much, sir. First of all, before starting the session, I would like to thank all the organizers, Honorable Principal Dr. R.S. More sir, Balwant College Vita, Honorable Principal Dr. BG Kore sir, Principal Adarsh College Vita, Head of the department, Balwant College Vita, Professor Gauri sir, and my dear friends, colleagues, and the participants over here. So I'd like to take this opportunity to give some basic idea about this particular software, SPSS. So while learning a software, I always believe that a software can be learned most of the times by trial and error methods until and unless you put your hands on a particular software, you won't be a master in that software. Also at the same time, the current requirement of market, as Corey says rightly, that having only domain knowledge is not sufficient nowadays. Like we have a very good knowledge of our subject statistics. Like we know basic concepts of probability, descriptive statistics. We know the testing of hypothesis. We know various data mining techniques. But in addition to that, we should be able to handle various softwares for the data analysis purposes. And you might be aware about the thing in the market nowadays. There are so many softwares like R is there, which is widely used over all the world. Along with that, there is Python and Minitab. There are various softwares, but in my personal opinion, SPSS is my personal favorite software for data analysis purpose. And yeah, of course, we should learn other softwares also like R and Python also. And when you look at the statistics of the persons using various statistical softwares, the SPSS comes in first 2 or 3 softwares, which is widely used by non-statistician persons. Because see, you must be aware about the thing that statistics is a tool which is used for a wide areas or broad areas. Like the statistics is used in medical sciences, it is used in financial sciences, it is also used in educational research, or all kind of research. The statistics is used, and over the period of time, there is lots of data is getting generated, and as a statistician, we have to get that data, we have to analyze it, and we have to prepare proper reporting for that particular data. And for that purpose, the technology plays a very vital role. And in that case, we have to discuss about this particular software, SPSS. As Corey sir given some introduction about this software, I won't go much in detail about this software. So I'm sharing my screen. Organizers, please allow me to share my screen. I guess it is disabled for participant, so please allow. So while doing any statistical analysis work, the first part is getting the data and arranging and cleaning the data. Then we perform various statistical analysis like descriptive statistics, if you are going for the hypothesis testing or any other testing methods. And the important part comes is the interpretation of the results. That is very important part. And being statistician, I'm very proud for that, because many peoples around the globe can use the softwares by reading the tutorials, by
Sagar sir,
watching the
just 1
videos.
minute. Your screen is not shared.
Yeah, sir. Actually, there is some problem with sharing. Yeah, I got it now.
Gauri sir,
Yeah, thank you,
make him
sir.
a co-host or
I can share it now. I hope it is visible now.
yes, yes, yes.
Okay, thank you, sir. Yeah, so I was talking about the main part is the interpretation of the result. And there, not every layman can interpret a result correctly. And there we play a vital role, being a statistician. So as sir said, the SPSS, initially it was called as Statistical Packages for Social Sciences. It was established in 1968. Then it's then acquired by IBM, and then they have renamed it as Statistical Product and Service Solutions. And it is not a free software. We have to purchase it through website, IBM website. They have one provision that we can use its trial version for 30 days. Now, the latest version for this software is 17.0, which is recently released. So, we will directly go to the software.
आणि इथं दोघींमध्ये एक टाकायची
I hope the screen is visible.
आणि दुसरं
Okay. When you open this software, SPSS,
मोहिते मॅडमला टाकायचं इथं मोहिते
it
मॅडम
comes with this editor window. It's called as data editor window.
नाही इथं टाकायचं मोहिते मॅडमला 3 बॅचेस द्यायचे.
This particular window, you can see here at the bottom 2 tabs, the data view and variable view. And in the variable view, you can see here the columns are variables and rows are the cases. And when you click on the variable view, here you can enter the variable names that we are going to see, like the name of the variable. While writing the name of the variable, you should start it with there are certain rules that you should start with the text, you should not start with any numerical value or a special character. Then in next column, it will ask the type of variable Either it is numeric, either it is a string. String means when you are using text as an input of the data. In that case, we have to use it as a string. Then the maximum width for that particular entry. Then decimal points that we are looking for could be according to our requirement. Then there is a column called as label. Here you can write the short description about your variable. The next column is of values, because sometimes we work with coding, like whenever we have data as male female, we code it as one for male, two for females, and so on. And while entering the data, instead of entering male and female, we enter it as in the form of 1 and 2s. And while preparing the table, we want again it in the original form, that is count of male and females. So in that case, we have to mention the coding here. Then next column is of missing. So it means, see, whenever we conduct surveys or we prepare questionnaire and we ask respondent to fill up the questionnaire, some of the times or most of the times there are some entries which are not filled by the respondents. We call it as non-response or not responded. Still, we have to get that count, how many non-respondents are there. So we can mention it here with any random number as a missing value, and you can code it as non-respondent. Then there is option for alignment for data entry, and the important part here is the measure. What is measure? It means that the scales of measurement. What are different scales of measurement? There is nominal scale, ordinal scale, interval scale, and ratio scale. So based on this, most of the time we decide our initial statistics. Like if you are using measures of central tendencies, we do not apply mean for nominal scale and ordinal scale data. So here we have to mention the scale of your data, whether it is on ordinal scale, nominal scale, or it is on ratio or interval scale. So that is about this variable view. You can see here. Suppose I will create a variable with name, age. So these are the default values. By default, it will consider the variable to be a numeric value of width 8 and up to 2 decimals after the day. Then label is void, that is blank. Value is none, missing none. Okay, and the measure is scale, that is by default values. Suppose here in the label I can write short description about this variable. Suppose age in years. Okay. Values, as we are not using any coding here, so we will not be using it any description. I will add one more variable here, say gender. Okay, before that I'll show you common error. Suppose if I write a variable name with starting with numeric value, say 1, gender, it won't accept the variable name starting with numeric value. So it says that the The variable name should start with character. Okay. So that it has gender, that is my another variable. As it is a widely used softwares by all the researchers, I always suggest the researcher to do the data entry in the spaces itself. Otherwise, most of the people what they do the data entry in Excel, then they import the files from Excel or they just copy from the Excel. So it is a habit, a good habit to start entering the data in spaces itself. Okay. Okay. So here we are taking another variable, gender. So as I said, by default it takes it as a numeric, but we know that the gender is not numeric if you are entering it as male females, but if you are entering it as 1 and 2 as a coding, for that so I'll keep it as numeric, then I will write label as a gender. Now here values I can write code 1 for male and 2 for female. Okay, so whenever I'm entering the data, I will enter 1 for male and 2 for females. Okay, there is no missing values, for example. Now here, if you click in the measure, so there are 3 options. One is nominal, ordinal, and scale is for both row scale as well as ratio scale. So as gender is nominal scale, I can consider it as nominal. Okay. Now, if I click on the data view, so see here, 2 variables are created, age and gender. I'll enter some values. Okay. And in the gender, as we are entering numeric values, like 1 for male and 2 for female. Okay. Now, suppose I want to display the frequency table for this particular variable, gender. See here, it is a menu-driven software. Okay, it is a menu-driven software. In addition to that, the beauty of this software that it is not only the menu-driven software, but you can do coding also. So whenever you click on the file, so it opens like data, syntax, output, and script. So now we are in the data window. If I open syntax window, it will look like this. You can write coding also here and you can run that. Or at the same time, when you perform any operations in this software, it will be recorded in this syntax editor. Let me show you that. Suppose we want to display the frequency table. So if you go to the Analyze tab, there are various options available: reports, descriptive statistics, tables, RFM analysis, compare means, and all these things. So we'll start with some descriptive statistics and frequencies. Okay. So once I click here, so I'll select the variable for which I want to display the frequency. I'll select that. Okay. Then there are other tabs also. So if you click on the tabs, so in addition to frequency table, if you want some any other statistics, you can select from here. Also, if you want to draw some charts like bar chart, pie chart, or histogram, you can select. And click on OK button. So it will redirect to another window, which is the output window of this software, and it gives us the output. See here, the table displays the frequency for male and female. Now see here, see the data were entered in the forms of 1, 2, 1, and 2. That is in the form of coding. But the output here we have got here as male and female. There are 4 male and 6 females, and their percentage and cumulative percentage also available here in this table. Okay, so it displayed male female because in the variable view, the variable we have entered the values as 1 for male and 2 for female, hence we have got this output. Okay, and it also displays this bar chart. Suppose you want to edit this chart, you can right click on this chart, you can go with the edit content. So it will open in separate window. Suppose on y-axis, instead of frequency, I have to write number of persons. So I can click there and I can write number of persons. It will be executed. And if you want to change the color of these bars, you can select a particular bar. In this case, you can select the color, whatever you want. So you can change the color of this graph. Also, you can add title to this chart. You can add text box. You can show grid lines. Lots of things that you can do with this graph. Also, you can change the font as per your requirement, because whenever you're creating a report, it should be attractive along with its necessary content. Now, whenever you save this file, suppose I want to save this file, so I can save as. So data file is always saved with the extension .sav. The data file is saved with the extension .sav. You must be aware about the common extensions, like when you say Excel file, the Excel file saved with .xlsx extension. Word file is saved with the extension .docx, as like this file saved with the extension .sav. And whenever you save the output file, it's saved as spv extension. Okay. Now suppose we have another variable here, that age, and we want to get some descriptive statistics for this variable. Again, you can go to analyze, then go to the descriptive statistics. I'll select age, and in options it will pop up new window from which we have to select whatever descriptive statistics we are looking for. By default, it will display mean, standard deviation, the minimum observation, maximum observation. That's it. In addition to that, if you are looking for variance, then standard error of mean, I can select that, and I'll click on OK. So it will display here the descriptive statistics. Okay. Number of observations, minimum observation, maximum observation, mean, that is 33.5, standard error, standard deviation, and variance. Okay, I hope you are getting this. Now suppose I want to import data from the spreadsheet or some Excel file. Suppose I have this data with me and I have to import this data in the spaces. So what I can do, I can go to the file, open data. Here, files of type Excel, because I have my data in Excel format, so I can use it. I'll select that data. Showing some error. I'll go back to that sometime. Okay, so I want to show you the syntax window here. Okay, sorry. Can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Go on talking, sir. Don't care.
Okay. So
याकडे होते मग काय पद्धतीने वापरण्यात ते तसेच राहिले त्याला ते.
Now, here in the output window, you can see the output along with some coding part here. So which code is nothing but if you can run the same code in the syntax window, you will get the similar kind of output that suppose as I am looking for descriptive statistics for variables age. So the code line is here, descriptives variables is equals to age, and statistics what I want is mean, standard deviation, minimum and maximum. If I run this code, so it will execute the descriptive statistics here. Okay. So this software provides us both way of doing the analysis, either by using menu driven or by using coding also. And descriptive, there are various ways, methods, like cross tab is also there. The cross tab, you know that we mostly use it for continuous tables, correct? When we use chi-square test to test the association between the variables, attributes. For example, here I will use, gender is already there as an attribute. I will use one more attribute, say eye color. Now here, suppose if I give variable name as eye color using the space, it will also not be accepted by the spaces. So it shows that it is illegal character. So you cannot use space also while giving the variable name. So smart way I will do, I use underscore as a separator, and in label I can use as I like the space. Okay. Now I'll be using the code for this eye color, code 1 for black, code 2 for say gray, and 3 for say blue. So these are 3 different categories of eye color, and again it measures on nominal scale. Okay. Now I created one more variable here, so I have to enter the data like this, and suppose now I want to create a cross tabulation with gender and eye color. So what we can do, we can go to the analyze, then descriptive statistics, and click on the cross tab. Now here it will ask which attribute you want row wise and which attribute column wise. Suppose I will select gender column wise and eye color as row wise attribute. Okay. And if I click on OK, so in output window, it will display the cross tabulation here. Here. So eye color, black, gray, blue, and gender as male, female. So I got this cross tabulation Now this here we have got just count. We want frequencies also along with this count. So sorry, percentage also along with this count. What we can do while selecting the cross tabulation, here there is an option called as cells. You can click there, and here you can select the percentages you want. If you want row wise percentage, you can select row. If you want column wise percentage, you can select column. Okay, so I will select first column wise percentage, means percentage for male and females. How many of them black color, gray color of eye, or blue color of eye. Okay, so I'll get this table with percentage. Like you can see here, there are total 4 male and 6 females, out of which one is having black eye color. The percentage is 25%, means 1 out of 4. And 2 out of 4 have gray eye color, that is of 50%. Again, 1 of the male out of 4 have blue color of eye, 25%. Okay. Also, in addition to this, we can get the chi-square value of association, chi-square test for association value using the same cross tabulation. Okay. So for that, we have to check for statistics. So here we have option, say chi-square. You can select that. You get this output of chi-square value. It's degrees of freedom, and the p-value here, the asymptotic significance, is nothing but the p-value for hypothesis, testing of hypothesis, testing of association between the two attributes. Okay. Now again, the common understanding is that whenever we apply any test, we should verify the requirements or the prerequisite for that test. As we know that for chi-square test, the prerequisite is the sample sizes should be more than 50, and cell count is, or it should be more than 5 when you are directly applying chi-square test for the given data. Okay, this was the one case. Now we come across various kinds of data sets. Let me check one such data set. For convenience, I will use another data editor. Suppose I have data about hemoglobin before treatment and hemoglobin after treatment. This numerical data. So I won't change anything here. So I'll just get the data. Okay, in variable view, I have two variables: hemoglobin before treatment, hemoglobin after treatment. I hope you know what is meant by hemoglobin. It is one of the parameter in our blood investigation. Okay, and I have this data of say 35 patients. I want to test is there any significant change in the hemoglobin level of the patients after treatment. Which test will be applicable here? Which statistical test will be applicable here? Yes, students, you can answer in chat box also. Okay, no response.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, assuming that the data is normally distributed. For now, we can assume that the data is normally distributed, or the population from which data is collected is normally distributed. Now, can you tell me which tests can be applicable here? If you can't unmute, you can send a message in chat box. So what is the scenario? We have before treatment, after treatment data. You can look it as pair data, before and after. Obviously, it is a quantitative data, and we are assuming that it is normally distributed. Okay, so here we will think about parity test. The next question we might be asking: the sample size is more than 30. Why we don't use Z test? But let me clear that whenever we have pair data, we use T test. We don't go for the Z test. Also, there is a misconception. I don't know. You may be clear about that. The T test and Z test, the difference is not about only the sample size. The other difference is about the variance. The population variance is known and unknown. Whenever population variance is known, we can think about Z test. But if it is unknown, we shall not use Z test. In that case, even though sample size is more, we go with the T test only. Okay. So now we have to test, is there any significant change observed in the hemoglobin after treatment? So for that, we again go to the analyze tab. Now here, what we are going to compare? We are going to compare the means. Okay. If you go to the compare means, so there we have various options. One sample t test, independent sample t test, paired sample t test, and one way ANOVA. Are you going to do one sample t test? No. When we use one sample t test, we use it when we have to check population mean is equals to a particular value. Okay. When we use independent sample t test, we use it when we have to compare the means for two independent populations. And when we use paired sample t test, whenever we have paired data. Okay, so I select this paired sample t test. Now I have to select variable 1 and variable 2, which is obviously a paired variable. So in first pair, I will select these two variables. I will click on this arrow. It will go. And select these two variables. Now, in the options tab, it will ask for the confidence interval. What is the confidence interval? At the same time, whenever you define a level of significance, that is alpha value, we define as 1%, 5%, or 10%. So whenever we define alpha value to be 5%, we set confidence interval as 95%, which is a by default value here. So I will not change that. Whenever I click OK, so in output window, it will display the output as for this pair, its mean of hemoglobin before treatment, sample size, standard deviation is standard error of the mean. Okay. And here it will give the statistics for the difference. The D we calculate by using parity test. This is called as D bar in our notation. It's standard deviation, standard error, its confidence interval, 95% confidence interval. The T value, which is we call it as a calculated value of T, and its degrees of freedom. As we have n pairs, so we have n minus 1 degrees of freedom, that is 35 minus 1, 34 degrees of freedom, and here it gives a p value. So you can write the interpretation on the basis of this t value, which is 0.820. You can compare it with the table value for this particular degrees of freedom and given level of significance. So we can write its conclusion or interpretation, or you can interpret with the help of this p value also. The common interpretation for this p value, or the every layman use, is that if the p value is less than the alpha, that is level of significance, we reject the null hypothesis. So here the p value is greater than the alpha, that is 5%. So we fail to reject the null hypothesis, and we can interpret it as there is no significant change observed in the hemoglobin level after treatment. Okay, so this is the one case where we can use this parity test. Now we'll see how to use one-way analysis of variance using SPSS. Suppose I have 4 groups and their responses. So group A, I will call it as 1. Group B, I will call it as 2. Group C, I will call it as 3. And E, I will code it as 4. Again, because it is on nominal scale. So in data view, I can enter the values. Suppose there are 5 observations in first group, 5 observations in second group, 5 observations third group, and it's not necessary to have same number of observations in all the groups. And we have the responses. Okay. Now here we have to compare these 4 groups using one-way analysis of variance group. Sorry, one-way analysis of variance. So for that, we'll again compare the means using one-way ANOVA. Now it will ask for dependent variable here, which is response, and factor is the group. Okay. In addition to that, if you want to do some post hoc analysis, you can choose. Otherwise, you can skip that. Also, you can select for descriptive statistics for each of the groups. Factor I have to select here as group. Once I click on OK, it will display the descriptive statistics for all the 4 groups and the ANOVA table. The descriptive statistics like mean, standard deviation, standard error, the minimum observation, maximum observation, and 95% confidence interval for mean, and the ANOVA table source of variations as between group, within group, we call it as error, sum of squares, degrees of freedom, mean sum of squares, F value, and P value. Now you can again compare this calculated F value with table value, and we can interpret the results as usual. Okay, are you following this, everyone? Okay, so there are various non-parametric tests also that you can perform. I will introduce some non-parametric tests. Suppose I have a categorical variable which is on ordinal scale, say pair before treatment and pair after treatment. Okay. which is on ordinal scale, and it is graded as 0, that no pain, 1 as mild pain, 2 as moderate pain, and 3 as severe pain. These are 4 categories of this pain. Suppose I have observations like this before treatment and after treatment. We want to check, is there any change in pain level after treatment. As it is an ordinal scale data, we cannot use parametric tests like parity test. Okay. Now here we can use non-parametric tests like Wilcoxon Tank test. So for that, go to the analyze, then non-parametric test. So now it will ask various tests, chi-square, binomial, runs, one sample. KS means Kolmogorov-Smirnov test, 2 independent samples test, K independent samples, 2 related samples, and K related samples. Now we have 2 related samples, means before treatment and after treatment. So we'll select 2 related samples and we'll select the variables. Okay, now it will ask the test type, whether we have to use Wilcoxon test, SAN test, or McNamara test. You can select any of these as per our requirement. And then in the option, we can select descriptives as well as quartiles also. If I click OK, so it will display the quartiles, 25th quartiles, sorry, 25th percentile, that is first quartile, 50th percentile, that is second quartile median, and third quartile. The quartile values for before treatment were 2, Q1 is 2, Q2 is 2, and Q3 is 3. So median you can observe is before treatment median was 2, and after treatment median is 1. So you can see here the median has shifted from 2 to 1, that you can see here the test statistic value. This Z represents the Wilcoxon value for this particular test. Here you can observe the number of negative ranks and positive ranks and ties. Okay. Now here also you can decide with the help of either Wilcoxon table or p-value whether to reject or not the null hypothesis. Basically here the null hypothesis for this particular test is that the median before treatment, the null hypothesis is median before treatment and median after treatment is same. Means there is no significant difference between median before treatment and median after treatment. The alternative is, as it is two-sided, the alternative will be the median has shifted. So whenever we look at these median values, you can observe that median is reduced after treatment. So conclusively, what we can say, the pain level is reduced after the treatment. Okay, excuse me for 2 minutes. Now suppose we want to compare the two groups. In that case, I have to compare two groups, say group A and group B are two independent populations. Now, while comparing two groups, we have to enter the data in a bit different manner. म्हणजे आपल्याला थोडासा वेगळ्या पद्धतीने डेटा एंटर करावा लागतो. सपोज पहिल्या ग्रुपमध्ये 10 ऑब्झर्वेशन्स आहेत आणि दुसऱ्या ग्रुपमध्ये सपोज 10 ऑब्झर्वेशन्स आहेत. तर ज्यावेळेस आपण डेटा एंट्री करताना काय करावं लागतंय, पहिल्यांदा आपल्याला एकच कॉलम मध्ये दोन्ही ग्रुपच्या एंट्रीज करून घ्यायच्या. I have entered 111 for 10 times, like I have 10 observations from first group, 2 for say 10 times means I have 10 observations from second group. Now I can write the corresponding observations from each of the groups. Not necessarily you have to write sequentially. You can write it in any order, but make sure that you write observations correctly belonging to that particular group. म्हणजे ते पर्टिक्युलर ऑब्झर्वेशन त्या ग्रुपमध्येच बिलॉंग होत आहे त्याची काळजी आपल्याला घ्यावी लागेल. फॉर एक्झाम्पल, I entered this data. Now I came to know that there are 3 more observations. 2 are from group 1 and 1 is from group 2. So I can add that to, like, I will first add group 1 and I will add the corresponding observation of group 1 here, and there was one observation from group 2. I can add it here. Now, under the assumption that this data is normally distributed, we can use parametric test for comparison of two independent population, mean of two independent population. For that, we can again go to the analyze, compare means, and here you can select independent samples t-test. Okay. Once I select this, it will ask the test variable and grouping variable. What is test variable? The test variable will be the observations or the response. So I'll select here, and grouping variable will be the groups that we have created, group 1 and group 2. Now here you can see here it shows groups in the bracket question marks. Why is it so? Because we have to define the codes that were used for the group. Group 1, I have used code 1, and group 2, I used code 2. Now instead of 1 and 2, if I use 10 and 20, that also can be entered here. Doesn't matter. Then I click OK. So in the output window, it will give us first the group statistic, that is descriptive statistic for group 1 and group 2. Now here you can observe the group names as group A and group B, number of observations, its mean, standard deviation, and standard error. Now here is the output table for this unfair t-test. You can see two different rows here. One is equal variances assumed and equal variance not assumed. Most of the time, we blindly assume that the equal variances are equal for both the populations, and we perform t-test. But in spaces, you can get two different values for t, one with assuming equal variances and one with not assuming the equal variances. So you can observe here the statistic value, degrees of freedom, and p value. With the help of this, we can compare the means of two populations and you can conclude whether to reject or not the null hypothesis. Here, in this case, the null hypothesis is mu1 is equals to mu2 against mu1 is not equals to mu2, because here we get the value for two-tailed test. Value for two-tailed test. So the alternative is mu1 is not equals to mu2. Again, it's not necessary always we'll be using unpaired t-test for comparison of two population. We may think about non-parametric test also. So in that case, The alternative for unpaired t-test is man with new test. Must have studied that, or you may be studying in this semester. To use man with new test, we'll use the same setup. I will go to the non-parametric test, and here we will select two independent samples. Earlier, while we used Wilcoxon test, in that case, we have selected two related samples. Now, for comparison of two populations, we will select two independent samples. Now, it will pop up the same window as like unpaired t-test. So observations will be the test variable and grouping variable will be the groups. And I will define the groups as 1 and 2. Now it will ask various tests, man with new test, Kolmogorov test. Again, in options, you can go with descriptive or quartiles if you want. And if I click on OK, navigate, put with the descriptive statistics as quartiles Q1, Q2, Q3. And the value for man with new test, it is 34. P value is 0.048, with the help of which we can interpret our result and decide whether to accept or whether to reject or not the null hypothesis. Here, the null hypothesis is median for group A equals to median for group B, and alternative is medians are not equal. Similarly, if you have more than two groups for comparison, like we did it for ANOVA test, non-parametric, we can use Kruskal-Wallis test for comparison of more than two groups. So here we have to select k independent samples, means more than two independent samples. The test variable will be observations, grouping variable will be the groups, and define the range. The minimum means number of groups. How many groups are there? 3. Coded from 1 to 3. In the output window, you can observe here the Kruskal-Wallis test output. See here you can observe it has written group A, group B, and 3, because they have not written the value for code 3 in the variable. In groups, I have just mentioned group A and group B, but we have added number 3, which is for non-parametric test, k independent samples. And here we can observe the mean ranks for group A, group B, and group C. Okay, I'll show you how we deal with missing values. Suppose I'll use the same variable age. I can write any value because age won't be this value. I will mention this as a missing value. And I will write it as no response. Suppose in this age, see here, you can see dots. I don't know if you can observe this dot because we already entered 32 observations here. So it expect in the new variable also there should be 32 observations. If you don't enter that, it will show in the form of dots. Instead of that, I will use gender one as male, two as
सर आवाज येत नाही.
hello. येतोय?
हा येतोय आता येतोय.
Okay.
सागर सर थोडस फास्टली घेताय का बघा.
Okay, okay. I'll just explain the graphs, then I'll stop.
ओके.
Okay, to draw the graph or plot the graph, you can click on graphs, chart builder. I think screen sharing stopped. Wait. Okay, to draw the graphs, go to the chart builder. Now here it will show the variables from which you have to create the graph. You can select any of the variable. Now here is the blank box, chart preview, and below here you can see various types of chart. Now what we have to do, we have to select any chart from here and we have to drag it into this box. Okay. Now we can define the variables. Sorry, it's it.
सर स्क्रीन दिसत नाही.
I'm just sharing it. There's some problem. I am not able to share the screen. Yeah. Okay, sorry for inconvenience. Okay, so whenever we create cross tabulation from here, now here you can select display clustered bar chart. So this will also display the charts for the gender versus eye color. And as I said, you can right click here and you can edit the content. You can even export to Word or Excel, whatever you want, mostly a Word or PowerPoint. You can export this type of chart. Or you can edit it here. Of persons. Okay, like this. Okay, I hope I could add something new to your knowledge, dear students, and I hope you will try this and try to learn as much as you can new softwares, new updates, which is a requirement of the time. Okay, so I stop here, and again, once again, I would like to thank all the organizers of the both the colleges. I also like to thank my own college, Modern College of Pune, for giving the permission of this webinar. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. The guidance you give will definitely benefit the student and participants. Thank you, sir. If anyone have any queries or questions, they can ask their questions.
Yes, please. If you have any questions or queries, you may ask.
No question, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, sir.
I request all the participants to fill feedback link given in the chat box as well as in WhatsApp group. After filling feedback form, you will get e-certificate. Thank you all of participants. And I request
sharing stop.
vote of thanks in Game Maker, sir.
It's my great pleasure to propose vote of thanks for today's program. I am very much thankful to Principal Dr. R.S. More, Principal Balwant College Vita, for giving us an opportunity to organize this program with our neighboring college, Others College Vita, under MoU activity and his continuous guidance and support. I also thanks to Principal Dr. B.G. Kore, Principal Others College Vita, for accepting our invitation as chief guest and his guidance in this activity. I am very much thankful to Mr. Sagar Khandagare for accepting our invitation and sharing his valuable time. I also extend my thanks to Head of Department Statistics of Balwant College Vita and others College Vita, also teaching and non-teaching staff of both colleges. I extend my sincere thanks all participants. With kind permission of President, I declare that program is over. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.